Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is the next book in the Future series. This one follows our beloved babies from a few different books. The Be With Me, the Kiri X Female Listener book, Why You, Why Me, the Bakugou X Female Listener book, Pinpoint, the Shoto X Female Listener book, Serendipity, the Midoriya X Female Listener book, and Touched, the Hawks X Female Listener book. Now, if you haven't already listened to these books, you might want to go back and start from the beginning. But for those who have listened to these, as well as the merge book Future, which just ended a little time ago, you will already be familiar with your babies from each of your lives with your men. So this book will be following your kids, Ginny, your baby with Kiri, Chisuki, your baby with Bakugou, and Soshi, your baby with Shoto, interning at Hiyoko's agency, the same Hiyoko is in Touched, your baby with Hawks. The basic premise of this book is that Hiyoko is now 30 years old and has an agency of his own, which he co-runs with his best friend Kana, who you'll find out more about later in the book. Hint, this little boy, he first debuted as a little boy, is at the ending of the Touched book, the first day of kindy with Hiyoko. That might jog a few memories. In this book, the UA Sports Festival has just finished, and Ginny, Soshi, and Chi have all caught Hiyoko's eye. So he invites them to do work experience at his agency, which they eagerly take him up on. This book follows their intern week with him. Now, there is a scene in this book that I'll be cutting out, as it is an adult scene between Hiyoko and somebody else adult who is special to him. I won't give anything away, but I'll put the link to the missing chapters in the description of that video so that if you want to read it on my site, you can, but I won't be reading it for YouTube because PG. I also want to point out that this book is LGBTQIA inclusive, as well as deaf and hearing impaired inclusive. My cousin is deaf, so I do know a small amount of Auslan sign, that's the Australian sign language, and one of the characters in here will be using sign language. Seeing as I won't be signing his part, I will describe some of the signed words he uses, but I will be reading his part out as I usually would for any other character. For the first few chapters, I give a character sheet on each character as well as a picture of each so that you can get an idea of what they look like, as well as getting an idea of their personality and likes and dislikes. These characters are all made up by me. They're not canon, but the world of Boku no Hero Academia, of which this book is set in, is owned and created by Kohei Horikoshi, of which all credit and all of my respect goes to him for. The main characters that will feature heavily in this book are, drumroll please, Jinsi Karishma, who is Ginny, that's Kirishima Ichiro's daughter, Chisuki Bakugou, Chi, or Hoki as he's belovedly known in the Future series, he's Katsuki Bakugou's son, Soshi Todoroki, that is Shoto Todoroki's son, Hiyoko Takami, that's nickname Yoko, or Nugs as Brai Brai calls him, that's Keigo Takami's son, Brian Ayama, Brai Brai, distant relative of Yuga Ayama, of who we all know in the actual Boku no Hero Academia series. Anthony, I've left the last name unspecified because Anthony's your uncle, as you remember from Touched. He's the uncle figure that everyone loves good old Anthony, who's got to put up with flamboyant Brian's behaviour. And then Chikei Kanaka, he's just nicknamed Kana in the book. He's the deaf hero who Hiyoko meets on his first day of school back at the end of Touched. And Kiru Midoriya, also known as Kiki, that's her nickname. That's Midoriya's daughter, who I think it was the final end of the Serendipity book was announced that the daughter, Deku's daughter's name was going to be Kiru. So she features quite heavily in this book as well, so you get to see what she is like. Let me just click back to this other one. So without further ado, let's get into the character sheets and start this book. First up is chapter 1, and this one is titled Hiyoko Takami. On screen you'll see our beloved Hiyoko, who's all grown up now. He's 30 years old. His hero name, the winged hero, Condor, following on from his dad, Hawks. Quirk is telepathic wings. Description: his wings can be used to telepathically communicate with people when deployed and pressed up against that person's body at any point of their body. You can talk to multiple people at the same time about different things through different feathers, but it takes a lot of concentration and gives him a bit of a headache if he overuses it. He can recall the feathers and reattach them again, but he cannot carry things with his feathers like his dad. Blood type B negative. Favourite things: corn, free falling, teasing Kanaka, surprising people by talking to them through his feathers when they least expect it. Height 174 centimetres, wingspan 8 metres, that's why he's called Condor. Weight 58 kilos, sexuality bisexual, birthday 11th of Jan. Quote, "It's hard to look badass when you have the wings of an angel." Poor Nugs. Hiyoko has a bar piercing in his right eyebrow and has hazel green eyes. He also has a small tattoo under his left wing bone where the wing meets his body, and it is the date that he met Kanaka in primary school, but he claims that that's the day that he decided that he wanted to be a hero. So cute. Let's move on to the next one, which is Jinsi Karishma. Our beloved Ginny is age 15 in this book. Her hero name is the super glue hero Quickset. Her quirk is hardening glue. Description: Jinsei can excrete a glue-like substance from her hands and choose to harden or soften it at will, being able to lock people down once coating them in it. She cannot detach the glue from her hands, and once the glue has been softened, it will reabsorb into her hands to be used again at a later time. If Jinsei is panicked when using her quirk, she will find it harder to make the glue soften when needing to deactivate, so it can be influenced by emotions. Her blood type is O positive, and she likes wearing her hair in pigtails. She likes her best friends, Chisuki and Soshi. She likes chocolate pocky and the smell of rain. Dislikes: her hair being touched. Do not touch the hair. Height 161 centimetres. Weight 46 kilos. She's a lightweight. Birthday 16th of July. Sexuality straight. Quote, "Just trying to look badass and cute at the same time. Ain't that the truth?" I've chosen brown hair for her because in future it says that her hair was the same colour as mum's. So to adapt it for OC purposes and to put a picture, I've picked the most common hair colour, which happens to be brown. If you're blonde, have black hair, curly hair, whatever, just insert that instead. Jinsei has no piercings or tattoos, but she would like a tattoo of a little bird on her right rib cage because she low-key has a mad crush on Hawks and Hiyoko, but knows that she will never end up with them because they're twice her age, more than twice in Hawks' case. So it's more of like a celebrity crush type thing. Okay, moving on to our dear third character, Soshi Todoroki. On screen, you'll see our darling Soshi. He is age 16 in this book. His hero name, the Ice Hero Crystallized. His quirk is Ice Diamonds. Description: he can deploy ice from both palms of his hands, much like his father Shoto, who can deploy ice, but only from his right palm. Soshi can willingly add gems or precious stones to the ice if he chooses, oftentimes using the gems for reinforcement. Skilled in making shapes with the ice such as stairs, belts, balls, etc., and is able to throw the ice. Body temperature drops the longer that he uses his quirk and is vulnerable to frostbite in his fingers if quirk is in constant use for more than 4 minutes. That's a bit of an issue. Blood type O negative. He likes Ginny, annoying chi, and shiny things. Dislikes getting wet from water, but not from his quirk, and he doesn't like pickles. His height 174 centimetres, weight 60 kilos, sexuality bi-curious. Birthday 1st of Jan. Quote, "I'm a Todoroki." What else do I need to say? It's got a little bit of a cheeky streak there. Soshi doesn't have any tattoos or piercings, but would like to get his tongue pierced because Jinsei said she thinks tongue piercings on guys look hot. His dad won't let him. Moving on to character number 4. This is good old Chisuki Bakugou. Here is good old Chi Hockey. He's age 16 as well in this book. Hero name, the combustible hero, Mortal Combustion. Quirk, Combustion. Description, basically an upgrade of Bakugou Katsuki's quirk. Can detonate explosions from the pores on his body, appearing like he is setting himself on fire. His skin is extremely heat-proof, so does not burn oneself, but the more he uses his quirk, the hotter he gets, and thus sweats more, making his quirk stronger and thus exacerbating the effects to the point where he needs to take a cold shower to calm down. Blood type A. He likes Jinsei, fireworks, and bats. Dislikes sand and burnt food. Height 172 centimetres, weighing in at 62 kilos, sexuality straight, and birthday 22nd of Jan. Quote, "Dad always tells me I'm going to be number 1 and I'm not here to disappoint." What is with these boys? They've both got like full-on like confidence thing going on. Chisuki has a small tattoo on his wrist of an explosion and wants to get more in the future. He also wants to get his tongue pierced to impress Jinsei too, but he heard it really hurts and is scared that he might get zapped every time he uses his quirk. He looks up to his dad very much and wants to be just like him. Now moving on to character number 5. This is our beloved Anthony from Touched. This is your uncle from Touched. So there's a picture on screen of what he possibly looks like. At his first appearance in Touched, he's age 34, so he's older now. I'll just leave that as older. Quirk, he's quirkless. Blood type B neg. Likes stuffed animals, cuddles, and he also likes the fact that people don't believe that he's actually married to Brian Ayama. He dislikes being called out by Bri. Height 184 centimeters and weighs 80 kilos. His sexuality very obviously is gay. Birthday 29th of May. Favorite quote: if I had $1 for every time Brian says Beyonce, I'd be a millionaire. Poor Anthony, he doesn't have any tattoos or piercings. So let's move right along to the next character, which you've probably already guessed who it's going to be. It is our beloved Bri, sparkling in at character number 6. The photo that's on screen, you're probably like, what? Doesn't look like anything like what I thought Brian would look like. In that photo, that was taken when he was 31. In Touched, he's older now. His quirk, a fabulous designer, why doesn't that surprise us? Description: can deploy threads of material from his fingertips for the purpose of making clothes. Can project silk, cotton, nylon, etc. to create intricate pieces of work. Blood type AB positive. Likes anything that shimmers and sparkles and screams, I am here. He likes queens, male or female, and he also likes when his nails are freshly done. Dislikes, oh honey, you'll know when I don't like something. He will definitely let you know when he doesn't like something. Height 175 centimeters, weighs 63 kilos, sexuality gay, birthday 8th of December. Quote, Beyonce save us. Brian loves Hiyoko with his whole heart and dotes on him like he is the son that he never had. He often calls Hiyoko Nuggy in public, which embarrasses the hell out of poor Hiyoko. So let's move on to character number 7, and this is our beloved Kiru Midoriya, who we met very briefly when she was born at the end of Serendipity. In this book, she is now 13 years of age, and as you can see, she's a pretty cool looking character. Her hero name, she's still not sure if she wants to be a hero or not. Sorry, Kiru, we get you. Quirk, paper cuts. Description: can create paper edges that protrude from her knuckles. The paper appears to be reinforced and will slice through things very easily. Hasn't paid enough attention to find out if there are any drawbacks. Her blood type is O negative. Likes eating lemon flavoured gum and strawberry flavoured gum at the same time. She likes the colour green and she likes being left alone. Dislikes boys, the colour orange, and clothing tags, and so she'll cut them off everything that she owns immediately. Height 153 centimetres, weighs 45 kilos, sexuality lesbian, and birthday is 13th of November. Favourite quote: girls will rule the world. That is so true. Current concerns: why is everyone so fake? Poor Kiru. Just a little author's note. Kiru goes by the nickname Kiki and is trying to find herself in the world. She sees how most heroes only say what they think that their fans want to hear, and it annoys her no end. She knows that her dad, Izuku, is as genuine as they come, but still makes her not want to be a hero. She has multiple piercings, but the small crosses under each eye are drawn on with eyeliner. She wants to get a full sleeve tattoo done in colour, but is still undecided on the theme and is broke, so, can't really get what she wants at this point in time. Kiru and Jinsei met as kids because their dads would often team up for hero missions, etc. Kiru thinks that Jinsei is amazing and has a small crush on her, but she knows that Jinsei is straight, and so will never tell her that she likes her. But Jinsei is very affectionate and will often cuddle with Kiru, so the latter gets her fix for closeness that way. And then we move on to the final character to be introduced. This is Chikei Kanaka. Chikei, in this book, is aged 30. His hero name is the sensing hero, Seismic Kana. Quirk, vibrational topography. Description: can build and see his world through the vibrations that he picks up from his feet, and is able to accurately locate people or objects through this quirk. Chikei wears specially designed shoes that allow the vibrations to pass through the soles and to his feet so that he can use his quirk to its full potential. He can sometimes get an inaccurate reading of objects if they're suspended in midair. He cannot locate someone with a phasing quirk and can only use his quirk for up to 1 kilometre, and he's had to train very hard to get to this point. His blood type is a POS. He likes being with Hiyoko, he likes black grapes, he likes the feeling of songs with a lot of bass, he dislikes crowds, he doesn't like being alone at night, and he does not like rats. Height 176 centimetres, weight 70 kilos, sexuality pansexual. Birthday 4th of February, and his quote, "He looks like me but with a moustache." Hiyoko interpreted the question wrong on purpose and asked Chikei through his feathers as a joke, "What does your dad look like?" so that this quote would be stuck with Chikei forever. Author's note here, Kanaka is deaf. He was born without a cochlea and thus cannot hear at all, but Hiyoko is able to talk directly into Kana's brain, so the pair hit it off well. Hiyoko chooses to talk to Kanaka through his feathers, but does know sign language and will use it sometimes in lieu of the feathers. Kanaka and Hiyoko use Auslan sign language, and thus I will describe some of the signs used, as I do know how to do a little bit of Auslan sign. Kanaka and Hiyoko met in primary school, and the teacher paired them up from day one, as you'll remember, and that's how it's been ever since. They grew up together and went through all their schooling years and hero training years together, and are now working together at Hiyoko's agency. The pair specialise in taking down organised crime. They love doing stealth missions rather than large-scale fights. Kanaka knows Hiyoko is bi, and he's hoping to confess his feelings to his best friend in this story. Good luck, baby, we're with you. And here we go into the actual book. This starts the proper chapter 1 of the book. The other chapter 1 was the chapter 1 of the character sheets, but this is chapter 1 of the book. It will be loaded tomorrow. I was just about to start reading it and give you all an extra piece. No, sorry, you'll have to wait for tomorrow. So it's titled The UA 2nd Gen Sports Festival, and that's where we're going to start. So I'll see you tomorrow for the start of the book.
And there ends character info. See you tomorrow for chapter 1.